Dear learners, today, the focus of my presentation is models of teacher education: behavioristic, competency-based, and inquiry-oriented teacher education models. Let us first try to understand various models of teacher education. Teacher education models serve as frameworks for preparing educators with the knowledge, skills, and dispositions needed for effective teaching. Here are three distinct models of teacher education: the behavioristic model, the competency-based model, and the inquiry-oriented model. These teacher education models represent different philosophical approaches to preparing educators. While each has its strengths and weaknesses, effective teacher preparation often incorporates elements from multiple models, recognizing the complex and multifaceted nature of teaching. The choice of a particular model may depend on institutional goals, context, and the desired outcomes for teacher education programs. Behavioristic teacher education model. The behavioristic teacher education model is rooted in behaviorism, a psychological theory that emphasizes observable behaviors and the influence of external stimuli on learning. In the context of teacher education, this model focuses on imparting specific teaching behaviors through a structured and sequential approach. Here are the key features: teaching methods, evaluation strategies, and critiques associated with the behavioristic teacher education model. Key principles: 1. Behaviorism focus. The model is grounded in the behaviorist perspective, which views learning as a process of acquiring observable behaviors through stimulus-response associations. 2. Skill acquisition. The primary goal is to teach teachers a set of predetermined teaching skills. These skills are seen as discrete and measurable components of effective teaching. 3. Mastery learning. Teachers are expected to master a series of predetermined skills before progressing to more complex ones. Mastery of each skill is essential for moving on to the next level. Teaching methods. 1. Skill demonstration. Novice teachers learn by observing experienced educators or instructional materials that demonstrate specific teaching skills. 2. Behavioral drills. Repetitive practice and reinforcement are employed to ensure the acquisition of specific teaching behaviors. This might involve rehearsing certain instructional techniques until they become automatic. 3. Supervised practice. Novice teachers engage in supervised teaching experiences, during which they apply the behaviors they have learned in controlled settings. Evaluation. 1. Behavioral observation. Evaluation is primarily based on observable teaching behaviors. Trainers or mentors assess whether teachers adhere to predetermined criteria of effective teaching. 2. Feedback and correction. Feedback is provided to correct deviations from desired behaviors. The emphasis is on identifying and addressing specific teaching behaviors that may need improvement. Competency-based teacher education model. The competency-based teacher education model is an approach that focuses on predetermined competencies or outcomes that teachers are expected to attain. This model emphasizes a clear and measurable set of skills, knowledge, and dispositions that educators should possess. Here are the key features: teaching methods, evaluation strategies, and critiques associated with the competency-based teacher education model. Key principles. 1. Outcome-oriented. The model is centered on specific outcomes or competencies that teachers should demonstrate. These competencies are often defined based on research, professional standards, and the needs of the educational context. 2. Personalization. Recognizes individual differences among teachers. It allows for personalized learning paths, where educators progress based on their readiness to demonstrate the required competencies. 3. Performance assessment. Emphasizes assessing teachers based on their demonstrated competencies rather than relying solely on the time spent in training. Competency attainment is the primary criterion for advancement. Teaching methods. 1. Competency frameworks. Teachers are guided by competency frameworks that outline the knowledge, skills, and attitudes they need to develop. These frameworks serve as roadmaps for their professional development. 2. Assessment centers. Simulated teaching scenarios and assessments are used to evaluate teachers' proficiency in specific competencies. These assessment centers often replicate real-world teaching situations. 3. Self-paced learning. Teachers progress at their own pace through the competencies. Advancement is based on individual readiness, allowing for a more personalized and flexible learning experience. Evaluation. 1. Performance-based assessment. Teachers are assessed based on their ability to demonstrate the required competencies in real or simulated teaching situations. Assessment is focused on observable behaviors and outcomes. 2. Portfolio assessment. Teachers compile portfolios containing evidence of their competencies, including lesson plans, student work, reflections, and artifacts. Portfolios provide a comprehensive view of a teacher's capabilities. Inquiry-oriented teacher education model. The inquiry-oriented teacher education model emphasizes critical thinking, inquiry, and reflection as central components of teacher development. This model positions teachers as researchers who actively engage in questioning, investigating, and refining their teaching practices. Here are the key features: teaching methods, evaluation strategies, and critiques associated with the inquiry-oriented teacher education model. Key principles. 1. Inquiry and reflection. Teachers are encouraged to engage in systematic inquiry and critical reflection on their teaching practices. This involves questioning assumptions, exploring alternatives, and continuously seeking improvement. 2. Contextual understanding. The model acknowledges the importance of understanding the social and cultural contexts of education. Teachers are expected to inquire into how these contexts influence their teaching and students' learning. 3. Collaborative learning. The model often promotes collaborative learning experiences, fostering communities of practice where teachers share insights, challenges, and research findings. Teaching methods. 1. Case studies. Teachers engage in in-depth analysis of case studies, exploring real-world teaching scenarios and dilemmas. This allows them to apply critical thinking skills to complex situations. 2. Action research. Teachers conduct action research projects within their own classrooms. This involves identifying an issue, designing interventions, collecting data, and reflecting on the outcomes to inform instructional decisions. 3. Reflective practices. Regular opportunities for reflective practice are incorporated into the model. Teachers engage in journaling, group discussions, and other activities that promote self-awareness and critical reflection. Evaluation. 1. Process and growth orientation. Evaluation in the inquiry-oriented model focuses on the teacher's growth, inquiry skills, and ability to critically reflect on their teaching practices over time. It values the ongoing process of learning. 2. Feedback and dialogue. Continuous feedback and dialogue are integral to the evaluation process. Teachers receive constructive feedback from mentors, peers, and students, facilitating ongoing improvement. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Education and Teacher Education at Shokin Bilal.